Sir, prosperity is beyond money. Money is only one of the manifestations of prosperity. Prosperity is the life of God. Prosperity is his life. And there are three cardinals of this prosperity. I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper. There is soulish prosperity. There is body prosperity. I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. So it begins with the prosperity of your soul, the well-being of your spiritual identity, and then it goes on to your health, and then it goes on to your hand. So a lot of people think that prosperity chiefly talks about having money. No, it begins with the conditions of your heart. A lot of people have diseases on the inside. They don't have any known disease physically, but they are so much sick. They are going through spiritual lethargy, weakness of the bone. They can't even pray for 30 minutes. They are spiritually sick. They can't worship for 1 hour. They can do every other thing for hours, but when it comes to koinonia, their bones are weak. These people are spiritually weak. They are spiritually sick. The devil has replaced their taste with carnality. When are those days that you just feel like worshiping, and then you've not gotten yourself for 3 hours? When are those days that every time it's worship in your phones, it's messages in your phone? Now you have replaced it with all the carnal and worldly music. You are even asking, what is wrong about Wizkid's song? Is it me you are asking? What is wrong with Davido's song? You know, these things, they were okay. Because the first thing the devil does when he wants to dethrone a man from the place of glory is that the things you used to run away from, he begins to normalize them. He begins to infiltrate your ranks and bring the lifestyle of Babylon and makes it normal to you as a lifestyle in Zion. He makes it normal to you. So you begin to question, how can masturbation be a sin? You begin to question, if I'm cutting a lady, I'm dating that lady, I don't think that kissing her is anything, since I know I will marry her. So you begin to normalize immorality and iniquity. Then the greatest of the onslaught of the attack is about to come to you. Because the first thing the devil does anytime he wants to attack a man is to break down his defense. To break down his defense. And there is nothing that builds a defense in a man like koinonia, like fellowship, like relationship with God. So he begins to break it. You begin to trivialize some of those midnight prayers that has reached a level of awareness, spiritual awareness, increase your spiritual sensitivity, and then you begin to trivialize it. You can now go to bed without praying, wake up without praying. 2 weeks you have not fasted. 1 month you have not even read the Bible. He replaces it with a couple of activities like BB Niger. Things you enjoy in the flesh, and then he begins to replace your routine. Before you know it, you are close to Sodom. All of a sudden you are in Sodom. That's when a believer cannot do certain things and the heart does not even still prick him. Before now, your heart used to prick you of the certain things you have done. Now it no longer pricks you. You feel they are normal. And some people scream grace, grace, grace. Listen to me, in the New Testament, there is even high standard. God marshaled high standard of living than in the Old. In the Old Testament, he said, if you touch a woman, it is a sin against God. A woman you are not married to. But in the New Testament, he said, I bring unto you another commandment. This time it is not even touching. If you look lustfully, you have sinned. So the standard of the New Testament is more than the standard of the Old Testament. Grace does not water down sin. Grace does not mean do nothing. Grace does not mean you can go free with sin. Grace simply means an empowerment. The difference between the old and the new is that the Old Testament didn't have a pedestal of overcoming sin. They were not empowered to overcome sin. But in the New Testament, the grace of God gave us the enablement to live above sin. Somebody say, we are no longer under the law. No, sir, we are under the law. We are under the law of the Spirit. Oh, pull it up. 12:1 of the book of Romans. There is therefore now no condemnation to them who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the laws of the Spirit have set us free from the laws of sin and death. 8:1. Quickly, 8:1. Romans 8:1. There is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus, who do not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. Look at this. Look at verse 2. For the laws of the Spirit of life in Christ. So we are under a law. Every government and every nation has a constitution. You are not a chosen nation. There is a constitution that this nation lives by, and that's the laws of the Spirit. Jesus simplified the law. He said, no longer 10, I simplify it to 2. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and then love your neighbor as you love yourself. Once you love these 2, you have fulfilled the 10. Because if you love your neighbor, you won't steal from your neighbor. You won't murder your neighbor. If you love the Lord, you won't bow down to other idols.